Reggie Wright from the Seattle Seahawks, and you are watching NorbCam.
This is Walter Jones, Pro Football Hall of Famer, top 100.
Tyler Lockett from the Seattle Seahawks.
DK Metcalf from
Nate Burleson, you're watching NorbCam.
NorbCam.
You're watching NorbCam.
What's going on, everybody? This is NorbCam coming at you on this Tuesday afternoon or evening, where you might be watching from, to talk a little bit about our newest coach, head coach, Mike Macdonald here on the Seahawks. But to get some of that insight, I'm going to go to a Ravens YouTuber, IngravenVids, who I've collaborated with before, and we're going to break this down and get the perspective from somebody who knows him better, really, than anybody else, a fan of the Ravens, and find out exactly what we're getting from him. So before we jump into that, I'd love it for you to, guys, hit that subscribe button, the notification bell. I did put the links to both of our channels in the chat, and it's also in the description as well. So we'd love it for your support as we continue to make our way through this thing that is the YouTube algorithm and trying to get our videos out there. So without further ado, let me introduce my special guest right here, IngravenVids.
What's going on, Norb? How you doing?
It's good to see you again, man. Last time we talked, I think we were talking about the Seahawks-Ravens matchup, which definitely gave me pause to think, man, if we can get the guy who shut our asses down when we did this, had our game last time, I'm pretty excited about the future for the Seahawks. But before we get into your take on Coach Macdonald, tell everybody about your channel and how long you've been a fan of the Ravens and what you do.
Oh, man, I appreciate you having me on. My channel is IngravenVids, the YouTube channel, Twitter, Instagram, all that good stuff. And we talk Ravens all day, every day, videos daily. Just to keep everybody updated on the latest and greatest going on with the Baltimore Ravens, and really just football in general as well. Ravens, they even though they broke our hearts about a week and a half ago, we still got a lot of love for them.
Oh yeah, you got to, right? Good through bad, bad and good. The highs and lows. You got to stick with the team because it's going to happen. So we're going to get into that a little bit later. But let me ask you right off the bat, because this is what Seahawks fans everywhere, I think when the news came out, first of all, I think it's a pretty common thought that everybody was kind of hoping, let's get Ben Johnson from the Detroit Lions, man. He run that offense. We need an offensive coordinator. Well, he pulled back, and the next guy up to bat was, I think, pretty much unanimous, was everybody was thinking, let's get Mike Macdonald in here. And sure enough, we got him. So I can't think of a single person or player who said anything bad about this guy. And so the expectations are just through the roof. I'm trying to tell people, let's calm down, man. Let's not expect this guy to take us to the Super Bowl next year. Or maybe he could. But I want to ask you, man, you got to watch this guy for a couple of years and see what he did with the Baltimore Ravens. What is your take? What are we getting from Mike Macdonald as our new head coach of the Seahawks?
Oh, man. This is tough because so many of us wanted the scenario to be where the Baltimore Ravens won the Super Bowl this year. And it was looking like it was going to happen. But what we were hoping would happen after that is that they would do the Pete Carroll thing, where John Harbaugh ended up moving into a front office role and Mike Macdonald ended up being promoted to be our head coach. That's what a lot of us were hoping for. I mean, we were hoping for it either way. But when Mike Macdonald, as the season went along, us as Ravens fans, we just knew. We knew he was gone. We knew he wasn't going to be back with the Ravens as a defensive coordinator for the third year in a row. We knew it just wasn't happening because he was just great. He was amazing, and he was consistently amazing too. With Mike Macdonald, he started off with the Baltimore Ravens a long time ago as an intern, and he worked his way up. He was the linebackers coach, and then 2 years ago, he went to Jim Harbaugh and to be the defensive coordinator with Michigan. Completely turned that team around and that defense around. And then he came back to John Harbaugh with the Baltimore Ravens and was our defensive coordinator last year. Had some little mistakes here and there early on. But then his first season as defensive coordinator last year, as it went along, he just got better and better and better. And then this year, he just took it up another level. Some different things you'll be getting with Mike Macdonald is somebody that knows how to fix what's broken, knows how to make the proper adjustments. One thing with him, he'll fix it. And you can trust and have faith in him that he will get it right. He got it right throughout the regular season. He got it right in the postseason as well. In the biggest moments, he steps up and he is very clutch and he comes through. I just love how with his adjustments, there was times when you hear about second half adjustments all the time. Oh, we got to go into the locker room and make some halftime adjustments. And that is true. But with Mike Macdonald, there were a lot of games where he made the adjustments even before halftime. And it's better in my eyes to make it before rather than after. Of course, you want to make them regardless, but the earlier you can make them, the better. He's very, very good at recognizing strengths on opposing teams' offenses and doing his best to really take them away. Another thing with Mike Macdonald that probably my favorite thing about him, as opposed to our previous defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, he is extremely good at recognizing how to use the proper personnel. And he's extremely good at recognizing who his personnel is that's out there on the field. And what I mean when I say that, with our previous defensive coordinator, Wink Martindale, he very blitz happy. And every defensive coordinator, they have their strengths, their weaknesses, their personalities, and whatnot. He's very blitz happy, but Ravens dealt with a lot of injuries. And of course, that's going to happen on every football team. They're going to be injuries. But with Wink Martindale, when a lot of players were hurt, he would still be playing the defense like all of our starters were out there. So he wouldn't make the adjustments necessary in order to play to guys' strengths or try to what's the word I'm looking for? Try to cover their weaknesses. He would just play like it was all starters out there, even though we were missing guys. But with Mike Macdonald, if guys were out, like there were times when we were missing our starting corner, Marlon Humphrey. We were missing our starting outside linebacker. We were missing just different guys here and there throughout the season. But Mike Macdonald adjusted, and he recognized, like, all right, you know what? We're missing this guy, but you know what? Let me disguise this, or let me do this so I can cover that weakness for our team. So he did a phenomenal job of that. He's somebody that you mentioned it a couple of minutes ago where you talked about how you don't hear anybody say anything bad about him. And you don't. Like, they love Mike Macdonald. And I mean, you can say that about enough coaches, but they really love Mike Macdonald. Kyle Hamilton, one of, if not the best safety in the league, he said that Mike Macdonald is the smartest coach in the room. And that is a coaching staff that has John Harbaugh there, who's been coaching for a long time. But that was the words from Kyle Hamilton. And Patrick Queen, who I could see following Mike Macdonald going to the Seahawks. I'm not sure what the cap room is right now, but Patrick Queen.
Not good.
Oh, okay. Well, maybe not.
we got some house cleaning to do for sure. We're like over the cap right now, man. So.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess we'll see how it works out. But Patrick Queen said that he was the best in line for a head coaching opportunity, and it just makes sense that he got his shot. We as Ravens fans were really hoping that he wasn't going to get a shot. But we were hoping that all the jobs that they would fill up. And it was looking like that way because in the beginning there were like, I think 8 or 9 jobs that were available. Mm-hmm. And they just started filling up one by one. And we were like, oh, yes, we might keep Mike Macdonald. And then there were just 2 left. It was the Seahawks and it was the Commanders. And then, like you mentioned, Ben Johnson, he was looking like he was going to go to the Seahawks. So we were like, oh, yes, this is great. But then when he pulled out, it was like, oh. And then we got the reports, Seahawks were turning their attention to Mike Macdonald. And yeah, we just knew that was the beginning of the end. So I'm really excited to see him with the Seattle Seahawks. He was great with the Baltimore Ravens. And another thing that you're getting with him is somebody that wherever they go, immediate positive impact, just like that, and a positive, powerful impact too. So he should do good over there.
Well, hearing the disappointment in your voice of losing him translates into the joy of my expectations that he's going to come do something great. Because it'd be one thing if you're going like, man, good riddance. I'm glad he's out here. I'd be very nervous. Sort of like some Chicago guys were asking me, so we're getting your Shane Waldron. How do you, what should we expect? I was like, dude, I don't know anybody who was not happy to see him go. So Chicago fans are like, man, what did we just do? But hearing your review definitely is encouraging words. Now, there've been a lot of OCs, defensive coordinators, offensive coordinators who've made the leap to head coach, and it hasn't necessarily worked out. Like they're great coordinators, but not great, head coaches. Do you feel like we don't have to worry about that with Mike Macdonald, even though this really is his first head coaching, opportunity?
I mean, it's just one of those things that you just have to wait and see. I think a big part will be the draft, just really assembling the roster and getting those key guys that are going to be able to do what he wants to do, especially on defense. What I'm really going to be interested in seeing is how he assembles that roster and not even just the roster, but the coaching staff on offense and how that's going to go. But I look at it like new blood, new life, an injection of youth. And again, that's all that we were hoping for as Ravens fans. A lot of us were just hoping that we would get that because if he would have stayed with us, it would have been a smooth transition. Like, all right, we got somebody that's been with the Ravens for a long time, and he could be the new head coach. But he's in Seattle now, so I mean, it's always risk. It's always risk involved when you get a new head coach. But I think it's certainly worth the risk, especially if you've been a team that's been in the mix, but not quite gotten over that hump yet. And Mike Macdonald has shown you he's done the best job that he could possibly do at what his role was before. So why not give him an opportunity in this new role as a head coach now?
Yeah, I love it. Jeremy G with a couple of super chats, 199 super chats says, Crisosimo 2.0 is back. You're going to see a lot of Crisosimo at the Super Bowl, my 49ers alter ego. So make sure you watch my channel this week because I'm going to be coming at you from Vegas. All right, back to it. So I want to transition. You talked about how great he was defensively. And in that game, truth be told, I was rooting hard for the Ravens, man. I really wanted you to go to the Super Bowl. I wanted it to be a Ravens-Lions matchup. I didn't get either of those. But, man, your defense holding the Chiefs to 17, but unfortunately your offense just didn't help them out. 17-10, the final in that. Just real quick, what was your feeling of how that game went? Because I think most of us thought the Ravens were going to pull this thing out the way they've been playing all year, and it just didn't quite happen. What was your thoughts about the way that champ game went?
Oh, it was terrible, man. Well, at least on the offensive side of the ball, it was terrible. They went down early, and again, you got to see Mike Macdonald on full display because the defense, they gave up 14 points early on, 2 touchdowns, one to Travis Kelce and one to Isaiah Pacheco. But then for the rest of the game, like for you to be able to hold the Kansas City Chiefs, Patrick Mahomes, I don't care who the wide receivers are, Patrick Mahomes, for you to be able to hold him to 17 points and no points in the second half of the game, that's insane. But the offense, they panicked. The Baltimore Ravens, they panicked as a whole, especially on offense. When they went down, they just completely abandoned the run game all the way. And they just got away from who they are. And they made things harder on themselves. Of course, there was some little iffy penalties here and there, but Baltimore Ravens, they had opportunities. They had chances. And they just it was just like a slow burn almost all game long because they were in it. They were never out of it, but the way that they were playing and the way that they just got away from their personality and their identity, they cost themselves big time in the worst time too, because that was the biggest game of the season. It was to go to the Super Bowl, and they completely fell apart.
Well, I personally wanted to see, MVP likely candidate in Lamar Jackson to do what he does because he's just such a whole nother level when he takes off. But I was like, why isn't he running the ball more? And there was a lot of criticism of him because of the expectations. But what do you think? Do you think the criticism of Lamar Jackson is fair, or do you feel like they didn't utilize him correctly? What was your thoughts as far as Lamar Jackson's performance in the champ game?
Yeah, it was just a mix of all of that. I do think there's fair criticism because, he is expected to get that second MVP. But he just wasn't doing the MVP stuff consistently. And it felt like he was holding back and he was playing sort of tight. He wasn't playing loose. There was some bad decisions. Like there was even though it should have been called a pass interference where he threw in the triple coverage. But that's a big no-no. That's a big no-no, and it resulted in an interception. And then there were opportunities for him to take off. There were some throws that he missed, and just it wasn't a good game from Lamar Jackson at all. It started off the way it started off when he threw that first touchdown because he broke out of a sack, then threw it downfield to Zay Flowers for a touchdown, and it was like, we're going to have one of these games today.
It looked like it was going to be a track meet, yeah.
But then after that, it fell apart. So, and then with the running, the Baltimore Ravens, they just were not running the ball at all. And whether it was the offensive coordinator not calling run plays, whether it was Lamar Jackson checking out of run plays, maybe John Harbaugh not stepping in saying, hey, we need to get this thing, whatever it may be, they just all just completely fell apart on the offensive side of the ball, and it was sad to watch. But, yeah, the criticism is definitely deserved because that was a huge moment. That was a huge game. And it's not all on Lamar Jackson, but he is obviously a huge part of it.
What's your outlook for next year? I mean, it's heartbreaking to get that far and go, man, if we gotten that touchback that he almost broke the plan and it could have been a whole different game. But here we are. Season. That's a whole other discussion, man. You even missed it by inches. It would have been a one-score game, but it didn't happen that way. Season comes to an end. You're so close, and now you got to start all over like the rest of us.
Yeah.
What's your feeling? Now you lose your defensive coordinator to us. What's your feeling about next year? Are you just as optimistic? What do you feel like it's going to be like for next year for the Ravens?
It's sad, but we're not as optimistic as we were going into this year. I think one of the biggest reasons is because of how everything happened. Because this is something that happened a couple of years ago, where the Baltimore Ravens, they steamrolled through the regular season. The year they went 14-2. I guess it's like every year that we play the Seahawks, it's a special year. But then it ends up falling and crashing and burning the exact same way both times, because that year we were a hot team, 14-2. We went on a 12-game winning streak, number 1 seed in the AFC. It's like, all right, yeah, this is a powerhouse. And then we go against the Titans. It's like, all right, we should take care of business against the Titans. Nope. And they completely got away from themselves. They ran the ball with their running backs. Their running backs got 6 carries in the Titans game. Same thing this year. We go 13-4, number 1 seed in the AFC. Get past the Texans, they're a pretty good team, but they're a rookie, so it's like, all right, that was expected. Then the Chiefs come into your stadium with number 1 seed, your home crowd, and you run the ball with your running back 6 times again. So I feel like with the regular season, I feel like the regular season is going to take care of itself. But what we are worried about and don't have the most optimism for is the postseason. When is clutch time? When is crunch time? How are these Baltimoreans going to be? Are they going to get away from themselves again? So that's a question that's on all of our minds, and it's going to continue to be on all of our minds, especially as long as the same people are in leadership and in charge.
Yeah. Always another page turn, another season, but it's like another. You never got the same exact team. Like you said, coaching changes. There can be some player changes. Patrick Queen's not coming back from what it sounds like. Maybe we end up with him if we can work it out. But we just have to see how the cards fall. All right, we got to ask that final question. We got the big game, Super Bowl 58 on Sunday. I will be there for the week. In fact, I'm leaving Thursday morning. Me and my dad, as supporting and representing the Seahawks, we'll be there enjoying the festivities leading up to the game. And then the game itself, I will be streaming from inside the building. I know what team I'm rooting for, or at least rooting against. I got to get your take, man. Who are you rooting for in this game, and what do you expect to be the result of Super Bowl 58?
Oh man, I'm hoping. Really, I don't really care, but I'm hoping that the 49ers win, but expecting the Chiefs to win, because it's like you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. It should be a good game. Both teams, they have their strengths. Both teams have some weaknesses, if any. But I think that Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, they're going to edge it out. And, I feel like he's already cemented himself as the best quarterback in the game. And really, no matter which direction this game goes, he'll still be one of the best quarterbacks in the game. And this will be, his 4th Super Bowl, I believe. Because, he won 2 and then lost to Tom Brady. So, this is
lost to Tom Brady twice.
So, and the AFC Championship, he lost to Brady, too. Yeah, so this will be his 4th Super Bowl. So, that's a lot. He's been to 4. Well, he's going to have been to 4 after this one. 1, 2 already. Some people don't even get to 1. So, that's historic right there. But with the possibility of going 3 out of 4 in Super Bowls, that would be insane. But I do hope that Brock Purdy and those 49ers, they spoil everything for the Kansas City Swifties. But we'll see how it all works itself out, man. But I'm glad that you're getting ready to go. That should be really, really fun, man, because it's from the Fan of the Year thing, right?
Your fan of the year, man. Yep. I'm wearing the jacket that they gave me. I'll be wearing this to most of the events that, plus the jersey. I don't have the jersey on right now, but I'll be wearing that, special edition for the week. And all the other 31 fans of the year from every organization will be down there. So we're all hyped and excited to be joining the festivities. So you're rooting. You and I are a little bit on opposite ends of the spectrum because obviously I can't root for our Seahawks rivals in the 49ers. So by default, I have to root for the Chiefs. But are you rooting against the Chiefs just because it's an AFC thing, or do you have another reason why you're rooting for the Niners in this game?
Oh, it was personal. I remember when we played the 49ers back in December. Everybody, this could be a Super Bowl preview, and I was thinking, oh yeah, this is probably a Super Bowl preview. And we took care of business.
Those guys.
But if I could go back, and if we could have lost that game but made it to the Super Bowl, I would have took that all day. But with Chiefs, it is personal with the Chiefs because they I didn't like how last week went at all, and it's just man, it's I do want to see them lose, but again, I'm really whatever about it. But we'll see how it goes, man. It should be a fun one, man.
All right. Well, we'll see. Yep, we got a few more days to go, and then we'll find out who wins this one. The battle of the two red teams. Who would have thought? The whole conspiracy theory has cracked me up because everybody said it's fixed because look at the logo, purple and red. It's going to be Ravens 49ers, and then that happened. It's like, well, so much for the conspiracy theory. But they'll still figure out some way to say that it's rigged and fixed. But either way, I think it'll be a fun game. I don't think it's rigged. I don't think it's scripted. But if it plays out a certain way, a lot of people will be going, yeah, it's definitely scripted, but maybe just the better team actually ends up winning. So, well, thanks, man. I appreciate you taking the time to join the show here. Any last words or anything you want to promote before we sign off here?
No, man, you enjoy yourself at the Super Bowl. Make sure try to get a little vlog for us or something too, if you can.
Oh, I will be. I definitely will be. I'll be shooting little videos along the way, but I'm planning to just bring my actual camcorder with me and shoot the heck out of everything and make like a little mini documentary of the entire trip from start to finish. So, this is the only thing. This kind of thing happens once in a lifetime. So I'm definitely going to try to document the whole experience. So, yeah, it's going to be a blast, man.
Oh yeah, for sure. I appreciate you having me on, man.
My special guest, IngravenVids. Make sure you subscribe to him. Check out his videos. He's an awesome creator, and appreciate your insight on Coach Macdonald, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, Nope.
All right. Y'all have a good one. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to y'all later. Go Hawks.